motion. A body being at rest and at motion at the same time. Is it possible? Let us figure out how. Motion points to change of position with respect to surroundings and time. So, whenever an object is moving from one position to another and there is a time duration that is taken by the body to move from one initial position Ri to the final position Rf. Say this is Ri and say this is Rf. Whenever a body is moving from Ri to Rf and in the process there is a time difference, right? Say a body is at initial position at Ti, time initial, and reaching the final position at Tf. So the time lag is, or the time gap is, Tf minus Ti. So whenever a body is changing its position with respect to its time and surroundings, we can say that the body is in motion. The question that we can ask is that, is this state of motion absolute? क्या मोशन एब्सोल्यूट है? क्या रेस्ट एब्सोल्यूट है? How do we figure if a body is at rest or if a body is moving? These are all questions that we need to think over. Now, assume that you are on a bus, you're standing on a bus, right? You felt like a daredevil, बहुत एडवेंचर चढ़ा आपको एंड आप बस के ऊपर खड़े हो गए. चलो छैया छैया डांस करते करते, right? So somebody who is on the bus, like assume some other people are sitting inside the bus. With respect to this person one, you being person number two are at rest. If somebody asks person one that person two क्या कर रहा है, is person two moving or is person two at rest? So यहाँ पे naturally person one अगर वो बाहर नहीं देख पा रहा है and if he's oriented towards physics, थोड़ा विज्ञान का उसको ज्ञान हो या समझ हो, he will inform that this person two is at rest. But on the same terms, if there is another person standing on the road, right? Say person 3 के point of view से आप move कर रहे हैं, you're going ahead, right? बस बड़े तेजी से सामने जा रहा है and आप there is a gap between you and him and वो gap जो है वो time के साथ actually बड़ा होता जाएगा because the bus will keep moving forward. So person 3 ने बोला है person 2 is in motion and person 1 ने बोला है person 2 is at rest. सही कौन है इनमें से? दोनों सही है. अभी हर चीज होता है ना कि सब्जेक्टिव है, राइट? आप जो बोलते हो कंफर्ट सब्जेक्टिव मामला है, प्रेफरेंस सब्जेक्टिव मामला है, रेस्ट और मोशन के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में भी there is something called relative. We use the term relative motion. अब relative motion क्या है? That a body is in motion with respect to another body. जैसे person 2 is in motion with respect to person 3. हो सकता है with respect to person 1, person 2 is at rest. Why? ऐसा क्यों? Because person 3 और person 2 के बीच का जो distance है वो time के साथ change हो रहा है, right? But person 1 and person 2 के बीच में जो distance है वो constant है. Now, how do you find out if a body is having relative motion with respect to another body? Let us draw x, y, and z, right? This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. Sorry. This be the y-axis, and this be the z-axis. If you people feel comfortable, you can also draw in a similar fashion. X, y, z. But say there is a body at this position. Let this position be x equals to 1, y equals to 1, and z equals 0. And let us say there is another body at this position. X equals to 1, y equals to 2, and z equals to 0. Please note, in this case, it's actually y equals to minus 2 and y equals to minus 1, since it is going in the negative direction. So, these 2 points, say this is point B and this is point A. If the position of A with respect to position of B does not change, right? Or if A and B have same velocity, यानी कि उनके बीच में जो डिस्टेंस है या उनके बीच में जो गैप है वो कांस्टेंट है, देन B is at rest with respect to A. B दोनों के बीच में जो फासले हैं वो कांस्टेंट रहेंगे. Then you can say B is at rest with respect to A. But if I say there is another frame of reference, and there is another particle C at some position, it is very much possible that the distance between B and C or A and C will change with respect to time. So even though you can say A is at rest with respect to B, or B is at rest with respect to A. The same cannot be said for C. हो सकता है there is a difference in velocity between B and C. हो सकता है there is a difference between velocity between A and C. Frame of reference is a set of coordinates that can be used to describe motion, or that can be used to describe the position of an object. If A and B are in the same frame of reference, then that means that A and B have zero relative velocity with respect to each other. उन दोनों के बीच में distance same रहेगा. Net acceleration zero है. But whenever we are considering object C, it is in a different frame of reference. Two frame of references have different velocities. Right? Which is why to find the position of a particle, first we need to set an origin, यानी कि a point with respect to which we will observe if a body is moving or at rest. Say आप लोग ट्रेन में ट्रैवल करे होंगे and even while traveling in any vehicle, somebody says, say on the bus, कोलकाता आ गया और भुवनेश्वर आ गया, भुवनेश्वर आसिगला, anything like that. अब if I think like भुवनेश्वर कौन आसिगला, wrong statement है. It is me who is traveling to भुवनेश्वर. तो भुवनेश्वर ମୁଁ ଯାଉଛି और कोलकाता ମୁଁ ଯାଉଛି, right? So the body is Bhubaneswar is not the body that's going. But if you consider it, taking the bus as the frame of reference, right? If you say take bus as the frame of reference, क्या होगा? Look something like this. आपने XY axis उसी पे ले लिया, Z भी वही ले लिया. Now आप कहो with respect to bus, are you moving? No, you are constant. कान में ईयरफोन्स लगा दिए. So आपके हिसाब से भुवनेश्वर आपकी तरफ आ रहा है, कोलकाता आपकी तरफ आ रहा है. You are not moving. अगर बस के फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस से कंसिडर किया जाए. So being exact, a frame of reference is a set of position coordinates that are at rest with respect to each other or have zero velocities with respect to each other. Taking this frame of reference, say x, y, and z. If you take this three-dimensional space, all the points in this three-dimensional space will remain at equal distances from each other. Or you can say all points in a frame of reference are having same velocity. Same velocity क्यों? Assume this is point A, this is point B, this is point C. Point C भी इसी direction में जा रहा है, point B भी इसी direction में जा रहा है, point A भी इसी direction में जा रहा है, with the same velocity. And these are more points in that space. And ये सारे के सारे points भी same ही velocity के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, right? So ये जो point है and ये जो point है, दोनों का velocity same है, along the x-axis इसी direction में है. So the gap between them will remain constant. So the set of points in a plane or in a space which remain equidistant from each other and are not moving with respect to one another constitute a frame of reference.